excited because I've been up, I don't even know how long I've been awake, but since I've been awake, I have been translating the German White Dwarf regarding the new Wulfen for Space Wolves. And I'm excited. I think I said that already. I'll probably say it again. The rules are, as far as I can translate to my limited ability, really awesome. Super stoked to get these new models. The basic lore, if you're not familiar with the Wulfen, is the Space Wolves. Their gene seed is a bit unstable, and it can result in a bestial transformation, basically like lycanthropy, where they turn into this ravenous wolf-like creature. In fact, one of the earliest initiations for aspirants for the Space Wolves chapter is they will inject them with the Canis Helix, the first part of their gene seed, kick them out into the wilderness, and see if they can muster the inner strength to suppress the wolf within. And if they manage to do this and return to the Fang whole and not malformed or mutated, they are accepted and they continue the process of becoming a space marine, space wolf. But one of the original companies of the Space Wolves Legion, the 13th Company, they were renowned for having a large number of people who were susceptible to these Wulfen transformations. And very shortly after the Horus Heresy, they followed Magnus the Red into the Eye of Terror, and were not heard from since. The Space Wolves have a large stone in their fortress monastery called the Great Annulus that depicts the companies of the Legion and of the chapter now. And one of these stones has been replaced with a obsidian-like black slab to represent the 13th Company, as well as all other companies that have been lost over time. The 13th Company then reappeared during the Black Crusade on the heels of Chaos. Apparently they had been chasing Horus and the Thousand Sons and other Chaos throughout the Eye of Terror for some time, and their Wulfen gene enabled them to resist the effects of the warp and the Eye of Terror. But now, from what we can gather, after 10,000 years, our lost brothers have returned, is the tagline on the White Dwarf. They've been popping up through the warp all over the galaxy and are joining the fight once again, and their insane battle frenzy has infected their battle brothers. And how this manifests in the rules, from what we translated, is there are two tables. You have the Hunter table, and then you have the Death table. And you have the Wulfen unit, and then within a certain radius around the Wulfen unit, your other Space Wolves units are affected by either of these tables. One of them is if you are in assault, the other one is if you are not in assault. The Hunter table, which is if you are not in assault, if you roll one, from what I understand, you roll one die for all the units that are affected by the Curse of the Wulfen area of effect. On a roll of a 1 to a 3, affected units gain a special rule. I couldn't quite translate what it was because the image was blurry. They gain a special rule and they can re-roll failed attack rolls. On a 4 to a 5, either moving, running, or charging, they gain 3 inches to those movements. Basically, if you're familiar with this Skitarii, it's basically Dune Strider of a sort. On a roll of a 6, models in the effective units gain Furious Charge and gain a D3 attacks bonus on the charge as opposed to just 1, unless they already have the Berserker special rule, which the Wulfen unit has, and I don't know what it does yet, because I haven't found the text on what Berserker is. The Death table, which is if you're in assault, on a 1 to a 3, the affected units gain +1 initiative, which is pretty good. On a 4 to a 5, the affected units can re-roll failed to wound rolls in close combat, which is also quite excellent. On a 6, the affected units basically gain what the Wulfen have naturally, which is models in the effective units that are killed in a fight subphase. At the end of that current initiative step, that model can advance and attack before they're removed from play. They can do this even if they've already attacked in this assault phase. So it lets them just go into a kind of a death frenzy, which is actually what the name on the actual Wulfen ability is. It's like a death frenzy. I couldn't read. We do get a grenade launcher, which I believe is called a Storm Splitter grenade launcher, and we get a Hellfrost pistol, which, as far as I can tell, is just a pistol with the Hellfrost special rule. I couldn't read it very clearly. I couldn't read everything on the grenade launcher very clearly, but I'll get to that in a second as to what it does. The grenade launcher, I'm pretty sure, is 12 inches, strength 4, AP 5, or strength 5, AP 4. I could be getting that backwards. And it's an assault D3. Some people say it's assault 3, but I'm pretty sure there is a W3 in the German White Dwarf, and their W is their D for the D3. I'm not sure what it stands for, but when I was translating the death table and the hunter table, when it said get a D3 extra attacks, it was W3 in the German version. So I'm pretty sure the grenade launcher is assault D3. You have a storm hammer, which is basically, from what I can tell, it's a thunder hammer that has Hellfrost. That's basically what it is. We have one weapon that I'm really excited for, and it's been a lot of time trying to translate it because the image was blurry and certain words weren't translating correctly. Like I didn't know what this word was here and there, and I couldn't find any help on Google or elsewhere. But we have the two-handed frost axe, and I was hoping that it would get strength +3 because a normal frost axe is strength +2. So two-handed, I was thinking maybe the extra hand gives you an extra strength, and I was right. It is strength +3, AP2, and it has it has merciless momentum or merciless swing. The word could go either way, but the gist of what it says is that when this model assaults, it attacks at its normal initiative value. In following rounds, it is initiative 1, as if it had unwieldy. And the reason I'm pretty sure that that's what the translation is in the profile of the weapon, it does not have unwieldy, as an axe weapon normally would. Instead, it has this merciless momentum or merciless swing. So it seems like it's replacing the unwieldy rule with this conditional unwieldy rule. What else do we have here? The Saga Edition, which is the big special edition that Games Workshop is fond of making, is supplied in a sturdy box that looks as if it were carved out of the stone of the great annulus in the heart of the Fang. It has a sign of the Wulfen embossed in gold on it. The box alone looks fantastic, but opening it is really interesting. Inside you'll find a narrative book called Curse of the Wulfen, but it has an elaborate exterior and a practical bookmark. Inside you will also find 3 smaller booklets that contain the same game content as the standard edition, separated into 3 volumes. The first is the Sons of Russ, contains the New Space Wolves rules of the standard edition. Scions of the Warp contains the new rules for the Chaos Daemons. And then Echoes of War contains 6 Shadows of War special missions and instructions for those. There are also 12 special dice, 6 of which are gray, 6 of which are red, that contain special symbols on them denoting the Hunter table and the death table for the Wulfen, Curse of the Wulfen effect. It also contains 6 numbered markers, which are ideal as mission objective markers. It also includes a double-sided poster and a rule reference card to the Curse of the Wulfen. I'm going to try to scoop one of those up if possible, because that sounds like an awesome thing. I love Space Wolves, and Wulfen are really cool. It's one of the things I missed. It's probably the thing I missed the most in the most current edition of the Space Wolves Codex, is that they took out the Wulfen. I loved the idea of giving a random model a D6 rending attacks, a D6 +1 or however much, depending on charges and other values. And I missed that because it was something that made the Space Wolves unique. Other chapters, such as the Dark Angels and the Blood Angels, and even within the core Space Marines Codex, where you have the chapter tactics, it has a very separate feel that, okay, this is what this chapter does. You know, the Blood Angels, they have their Red Thirst. You have the Dark Angels with some of their more particular Reclusium effects and other things. And their Interrogator Chaplains and their Deathwing Assault. They have unique things that are them. The Space Wolves in the current edition seem to be Space Marines that are wolf-like. They have their Thunder Wolves, which is a unique unit, but they're, by and large, their other units behave more or less like Space Marines that have slightly better gear options. Well, in my opinion, slightly better gear options. Close combat weapons and extra attacks and things like that. So they have a slightly more assaulty, Viking-ish feel, but there wasn't something that made them very unique, which I thought the Wulfen ability was something in that direction of giving them, okay, this is something that's different, that is something that the Space Wolves do that no one else does. And now we're definitely going to get that with these Wulfen units, which are an elite choice. They're 150 points for 5, 30 points a model. You can give them these grenade launchers for 2 points a model. You can give them the two-handed axe, I believe, is 8 points a model. You can give them 2 frost claws, which are +1 strength lightning claws. For 12 points a model, you can also give the models a storm hammer and a storm shield. So it's a thunder hammer storm shield combination for 20 points a model. So they're going to be a massively good assault unit. The Wulfen naturally re-roll run and charge moves. They re-roll. Do they re-roll run and charge moves, or they just charge moves? I think it might be just charge moves. But I know they can run and assault. I know for a fact they can do that. They have the Death Frenzy. They have the Berserker Special Rule, which I said before, I don't know what that does. I'm just super excited. Hence the making of this video. Me sitting here in this jacket and talking at this camera. Super excited. There's more information on an Italian leak, and unlike my German, which I'm not fluent, but I've gotten obviously this translation out of it. This is my translation looking at the German White Dwarf. My Italian is not that good. I can kind of, if I have an English and I have an Italian, I can look at it, the Italian, and go, well, this looks right. I can get by, but I can't necessarily be trusted to do a good translation. But the Italian did, from what I can gather, said something to the effect of there is a Slayer model. And those of you who frequently hit refresh on the Games Workshop website, not saying I do that, not saying I don't do that, will have noticed that the Ulrich the Slayer model has been listed as no longer available for some period of time. And a lot of people are thinking that perhaps this means we're getting a re-sculpt or a redoing of the Ulrich the Slayer model. Something that also supports this is in the Wulfen Armory, we have the aforementioned Frost Pistol. The Wulfen do not have access to this pistol. They can get all the other weapons. They can get the grenade launcher, they can get the hammers, they can get the two-handed axe, they can get the frost claws, but they can't get the frost pistol, which the Italian folks are thinking, and I agree, that we're possibly getting a character model that we just haven't seen yet. And that could be a redone Ulrich the Slayer. So what I'm hoping for, fingers crossed, is in the lore it was stated the 13th Company is shepherded by wolf priests. So you have these ravenous guys running around half out of power armor going crazy, and then there's these wolf priests kind of herding them, pointing them, go kill that thing. And I think that would be really awesome if this new Slayer model, be it Ulrich the Slayer or a other character type unit, has some of that feel to it where it interacts with the Wulfen in some way. Maybe it spreads the effect of the Curse of the Wulfen so it applies over a wider area. or it does something else that interacts with the Wulfen would be pretty awesome to see. Rather than just have, because the two issues I have with the Wulfen at the moment is they have a 4-up armor save, but they have feel no pain. So trade-off. But the other fact is that it is 1 unit, and to get all these cool effects, you have to take this unit at 150 points base, and you're gonna go higher than that because you're gonna want to give them the. I would love to give them the grenade launchers and the frost axes, because a bunch of strength 8 attacks, because they're strength 5 normally and it's strength +3. A bunch of strength 8 attacks, AP2 on the charge. I think they get 3 attacks base, so it'd be 4 attacks on the charge. That's ridiculous. I want to chew up a Land Raider and spit it out. Kind of ridiculous. But you have to get this 1 unit to give all these effects to your army. So it might pigeonhole the Space Wolves into specific build types, because the Wulfen are something that are just awesome, but they're a huge point sink, and if they die, your army loses all the special rules. So you've spent 150, realistically, let's be honest, you've spent like 200 to 250 points into these Space Wolves, this 1 unit. You've bought a Land Raider worth of guys that are toughness 4-up armor save, 5-up feel no pain. If you've spent the 20 points per model, so if you've spent 100 points, you've given them the Storm Hammer and the Storm Shield, which gives them a 3-up invul, which makes them, significantly more survivable. But that's another 100 points, so minimally you've spent, 150 points, that's 250 points, and then if you throw the grenade launchers on them, which I would, just to let them assault and overwatch and stuff like that, that's another 10 points across. So you're looking at 260 points for 5 guys. That's a lot of investment. And, things that kill Space Marines like Melta weapons still will likely kill them as reliably. I mean, they have 2 wounds, but Melta will still be instant death because it's twice their toughness, so they don't get the feel no pain. They don't get armor versus that. So the only thing that would save them is if you gave them the invul save. So a Melta weapon kills them just as easily as it kills a Space Marine. And they're 30 points a model. So they're twice the cost of a Space Marine base. So that's my one misgiving, is that they're an expensive and a pigeonholed point sink, that if you want your army to have this really awesome Space Wolf, you feel you have to take this unit. Which is why I'm hoping the character unit might allow for some flexibility there, or there might be some formation that you can take. Who knows? I'm hoping for some good formations as well that involve the use of the Wulfen. But it's a little early to say what we're going to get there, because I haven't, gotten the actual English White Dwarf in my hands and going, okay, this is what's going on. I just have, the snapshots that people have taken on potato phones over in Germany or Italy or wherever, and I can just sort of do my best to translate them, and that's it. But that is my discussion of the new Wulfen release. I'm really excited about it, and hopefully it'll be out for pre-order soon, and I will dive in with the rest of you who are interested in getting this product and throw my money at GW once again. Alright, thank you for watching.